Hey guys, this is Ben for Slash Gear. Today we're going to be taking a look at the HTC One V. This is the entry-level offering from HTC in the new One series lineup for 2012. We've already reviewed the HTC One X and the One S, so let's take a look at the more modest entry into the series. In terms of specs, you're looking at a 3.7-inch display with an 800 by 480 resolution, 1 GHz single-core Snapdragon S2 processor, 512 megabytes of RAM, 5 megapixel camera with an f2.0 lens, and a built-in 1500 milliamp hour battery. Just going around the device for a second, on this side you'll find micro USB. On the top you've got 3.5mm headphone jack, the notification LED along with power, and on this side just a volume rocker. On the back, you've got the 5 megapixel camera along with the LED flash, unibody aluminium construction, which is extremely nice considering the price point this phone is trying to hit, especially compared, to other devices from Samsung and LG, which is, slathered in plastic and whatnot. It goes a long way to a very, very nice device. You got this rubberized texture around the camera as well as the bottom, with the Beats Audio branding and the speaker grill. So, in terms of software, it's very much the Sense 4.0 that you all know and love, or maybe hate already. But on the V, some things have been pared back just due to horsepower, pretty much. For instance, you only get 5 home screens instead of 7. Not a huge deal. You could always put another launcher on there, but if it's, maybe you want 7, I don't know. In terms of graphics, you don't get that 3D transitional effect between home screens. Again, not a big deal, but it's all for the sake of reduced horsepower. Folders as well, when you pop them open, it's not as smooth. On the X and the V, on the S, sorry, it's a very smooth transition, but instead it just pops straight open on here. Otherwise, it's very similar to Sense, that you get on the X and the S. You still get the same options in the camera. For instance, if we pop that open, you can record. They've put the same buttons there so that you can record and take pictures. You don't have to jump in and out of different modes. And you've got the options as well. You've got these Instagram-esque features, vignette, depth of field, dots, all these kind of things. And you can modify them, as you can see. You've also got a digital zoom as well, which actually gets a little bit laggy once you start using it, so we recommend that you don't. 720p video recording, we found the bitrate was a bit low, kind of saps the depth and the sharpness from the image. It wasn't particularly, it's fine considering the price point this handset is trying to hit, and it's comparable to other cameras, but it could be a little bit better. Same goes for still images as well. It's actually better than average, the 5 megapixel camera, especially in low light situations, but the problem is compression is holding it back, in my opinion. It's if you try and take on close to medium subjects, it's fine. But on distant objects and buildings and whatnot, if you zoom in on the computer, you can really see the compression smoothing over the fine details. You get lots of blocks, lots of ringing around sharp edges and whatnot. Not a particularly, it just seems a bit stingy on HTC's part. They could have bumped it slightly. Granted, space is a concern on the handset because you don't have a lot to play with. It's only you've only got a gigabyte for apps and whatnot, and 95 megabytes for phone functions, so you pretty much need to slam a micro SD card in here to do just about anything, to be honest. So I can kind of see why HTC may be reined in the compression and the JPEG settings on the photos. But there you have it. Maybe if you root this device, you'll be able to tinker with that, but for everyone else who doesn't want to root and they're just dealing with the stock device, then that's, I don't know, it kind of holds the camera back a little bit. It's better than average, but it could have been the best camera in its class. In terms of screen quality, this is, it's without a doubt one of the best budget screens. The viewing angles are excellent, as is bright. That's you can't really get much better than that at this price point. Screen brightness, we've actually had to turn this down for this video as well. It's on about 25-30% right now, and it just goes to eye-watering levels if you crank it right up. It's a fantastic screen for the price. compared to other devices as well. Granted, pixel density, it's on the 3.7-inch 800 by 480, it's about 252 pixels per inch. Granted, you know, you're not going to touch the 300 plus that you're getting on the X and the Galaxy Nexus and the 4S and whatnot. But I mean, if you're coming from a lower resolution smartphone, or you know, it's your first smartphone, I think you're going to be very pleased with the screen, and you can always make a jump to a higher end device in the future. Battery life was good for us. On a video rundown test, we took a 720p clip and put it on loop with Wi-Fi and 3G left on. Screen brightness was maxed out, and we managed to get 5 hours and 5 minutes out of it. In terms of everyday use, we can actually go into the settings and show you, but pretty much you're looking at well over a day of usage. I mean, close to 2, to be honest. Granted, our usage is lighter than most, but if you look at that, I mean, we're on 21% right now, and one day, 20 hours clocked up at the moment. So, I mean, even with heavier usage, you're definitely going to be able to get through a full working day. If you're a light user, you're looking at 2 days usage, pretty much, which is, you know, it's great. Pretty great. Not many devices can attest to that battery life. So that's pretty much the HTC One V in a nutshell. If you want more details, check out the full review on /gear, particularly the photo samples and the video samples and whatnot. Thanks for watching, and check out the review.